once we overcome that problem, we become a new person, even worthier person, right? Greater person. And then he sends us another problem, which is bigger. And now we have to get bigger to overcome that problem again. That's what greatness is.
What's up, guys? Today we have special guest Red Rastum. He lives in a van, traveling the country, buying houses and cars with no money down. Welcome to the show, bro.
Yeah, bro. Such an honor being here. Thank you for having me.
Dude, I mean, so we met about like a year ago. I think it was at a WealthCon with Ryan Pineda.
Yeah.
And you were like brand new to real estate. You had like zero experience whatsoever.
Yep.
But I remember like when I first met you just had like this like energy and this like just kind of like burning passion inside of you. And I could already tell, I feel like at that point in time that you were going to be successful just because of just like the way that you're built, you know? So
appreciate you for such kind words.
Super stoked to just see the success you've had in such a short period of time. It's only been a year, but it's like it's a crazy journey, and I know you're only going to be going like higher and higher.
I appreciate you. I'm doing this not for myself. I'm not going to be able to do it for myself. I'm not going to be able to keep going. It's all about them, and who are them for us to decide, right? Family, friends, strangers, acquaintances, whoever. Yeah,
having a big why. But I mean, I love your energy. I love just your wild personality, dude. You guys were like dancing last night, like in the bar.
It was so fun, celebrating Ryan Pineda's birthday all together. It was so cool. Yeah.
But let's jump into it. So you live in a van, traveling the country, buying cars and houses with no money down, dude. That's wild.
It is kind of, if you think about it, but it was something that I had to do. The reason I got into real estate and in Ryan's community, where I had an honor meeting you and people your caliber, right? Which that's the reason why I'm like, I cannot be a schmuck being around these wonderful people. Like, I have to do this.
That's kind of crazy. Yeah, like whenever like you're in like a setting, there's this thing called, I think like was like where you have to kind of like level up to whatever like your peers are, right? So like if like everybody's lifting weights and they're all like talking about like getting ripped, and like everybody else around there is in this exact same thing, right? But when you get into the rooms of investors or guys who are doing really well business wise and financially, it kind of forces you to like level up your financial game, right? Just to kind of like to kind of fit in, and you kind of absorb what all the other guys are doing, right? So.
Exactly. So that's exactly what I did. But at the same time, I was mentally and spiritually broken. The reason I got into Ryan's community, I had to end a 4-year relationship, and it ended pretty bad. So spiritually and mentally, I was in a really dark place. It was not maybe at this point, now I know that it was God telling me, you have to do something you haven't done before. And I've been following Ryan since COVID, but I never followed them for real estate journey because I don't really like real estate. I didn't like it that much at the time. But the reason I joined his community, because the man he is, the leader he is, the businessman he is, the father he is. I admire them as a human being, and I have to be around this guy.
That's a big thing, I think, is when you're looking at your idols or someone who you want to emulate, is there's a financial success and then there's like the whole life success, which are like two kind of like different things. So like there's a guy like, for instance, like Elon Musk. Billionaire, the most like smartest guy, crazy smart, crazy things.
Genius.
I mean, as a businessman, like he's like almost like untouchable. But then like if you look at, let's say, like his family or spiritual life, like I admire the heck out of him on the business side, but I wouldn't want to trade lives with him, like, you know. So, but But a guy like Ryan, where he has like the business and financial success, but he also has his priorities. He has his faith and his family. He doesn't work past 5 p.m. You know, like that's something
that's the true wealth right there, right? Now working 12, 16 hours a day and then being miserable when you get home from work because there's nothing to come home for.
Exactly. I mean, and the thing is, like, if you can like enjoy life and have like the places, the priorities right as you're building your world, I feel like that's like the winning solution, because we're always going to be in growth mode. We're always going to be trying to build our financial house high, bigger and bigger. But if we can just enjoy our lives and kind of like maximize our lives while we're doing it, that's like the ultimate win. And like living in a van, traveling the country while you're doing this, like, dude, that's like you're doing like you're doing it, man. So
it is a lot of challenges. Don't get me wrong. You don't, in a normal life, you don't have to even think about settings like where to go to bathroom, where to sleep overnight, right? So these challenges that you don't think about in normal routine, yes, it gives me a lot of difficulties to actually focus on what needs to be done. But at the same time, like I said, I was spiritually and mentally broken. I had to, I believe, completely take myself out of my previous comfort zone for the better person I have to be. I'm
yeah.
completely out of this environment into a new environment, and that's what I did. And spending time on my own, exploring new places, spending time with Mother Nature, listening to birds chirping.
I feel like that's like a spiritual journey, man. Like,
exactly.
The way I can just imagine you're describing. I'm just like, dude, like that's like a spiritual journey.
And also, I didn't want to bring the pain from my previous relationship onto the next one. So I knew that before I meet my next person and hopefully the last person as a romantic partner, I feel responsible for not bringing pain from my previous relationship. And the reason I got into my van, spending time on my own, is to learn how to love myself again, how to self-communicate and heal myself. Going forward, when I am ready for next relationship, I don't hurt that person just because I didn't heal myself. It was my responsibility, because ultimately, hurt people hurt people.
That's so true. That's so true. I don't know. I feel like you're wise beyond your years. Like, how old are you now?
I just turned 31.
Okay, I mean, but like it's you're still so young, right? And then like I mean, like the thing is like but then you've got a wisdom about you. I think that's like beyond just how old you are. Just like I feel like you've got a spiritual connection with just like the world or things in general. Like you see things like slightly different than like a lot of like younger people like actually yourself actually.
I appreciate that. I appreciate noticing that. Yes. So now I'm in my van. I've been not just healing myself since I joined the community. People in the community kicking my ass, like, hey, you have to do this. I'm like, yes, and I'm being inspired. People closing deals, raising money. It's amazing to see what's happening. Beautiful. Like, okay, I have no excuse. Yeah, I'm in my van. Yeah, sometimes I have no consistent internet, but that's not an excuse. I can go to the library and get the work done, right? And anyway, that's what I've been doing. And with God's blessing, I got my 4th rental recently. I closed it. By the way, that deal was 0 money down, 0% interest with the community member, which you had on podcasts. I don't know when that's going to be going out with Brian Villarreal. We just did a deal literally a week prior to coming to Walton.
Tell me a little bit about it.
So he had a deal in Cleveland, Ohio, which is my main market for I'm building my Section 8 portfolio. And he had the single house that unfortunately his property manager screwed him over. So it's been sitting vacant for 5 months or so, not making the money, losing money really. And he's in Texas. He's like, mind-wise, he's not there. It's not worth it for him to deal with it, right? Anyway, I'm like, hey, he reached out to me, and he knew that I'm doing in Ohio all of my deals, most of my deals. Like, hey, I don't know what to do. I'm just asking you some advice. Should I keep it? Should I flip it? Should I get another property manager? I have no one to trust. Do you have anyone? Whatever. And I told him, probably if you're gonna focus on this single property, you have no interest in building portfolio in the Cleveland, do you? He's like, yeah, absolutely no. All of my focus is in my wholesale business in Texas.
Right.
And he's doing great. He's crushing it.
Like,
I told him, it's the opportunity cost that you're gonna pay if you keep this property and deal with it. Like it's not even worth your mental capacity to deal with it. Told him I will offer you a little more than what you want. And he gave me the price that he wanted, but I told him, I'll give you a little more. Just give me the terms that I want. And that was 0 money down on his equity. I took over his existing mortgage. And then I told him, I will pay you. I asked him, how much does it cost to take your wife out on Friday? Because I know they go on Friday date nights. And he said, around $60, $80, because Texas is not that expensive, right? And I told him, what if I pay you $125 for each Friday night when you take your take your wife out for next 10 years? That's $500 a month. And he's like, what? Yeah, let's do that. So I'm paying him $500 a month on his equity for next 120 months, which is 10 years. So, but 0% interest.
Dude, this is like so insane. Like you went over it so quickly, but like there's so many things over here that like to touch on. Like number one is like I think a lot of times when we're as investors, we always want a great deal, right? So like we're always trying to find great deals across the thing, and so and the question that a lot of people ask me is like, why would anybody sell their house for cheaper than what it's worth like on the market? Or why would anyone ever sell you their house with like $0 down? Like that's banana. That doesn't even make sense. But it's crazy because you're an investor buying from an experienced investor.
Yes, he's more experienced than myself.
But the terms work for both of you guys, right? And like it's like a win-win solution. Like so, it's like you're just looking for solutions where I need something that you have and you need something that I have, and together we can make a deal where we're both winning from it, and like we're both walking away like very happy from it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he was happy. I was happy with the deal, and more importantly for me, when I do these deals, because I document my journey, right? Yeah. Besides all of the benefits of buying real estate, like appreciation, depreciation for tax purposes, cash flow, whatever, for me, another great benefit of buying real estate is the story. And that's the story that takes you to building a deeper relationship with the person. Now, after a week closing on the deal with Brian, we got to hang out. We were dancing. So you mentioned dancing. It was Brian, one of dancing with me. It was amazing. So building relationship as you do deals together, that's the value of the community.
The other thing too that you did, like, I don't know if you realize or not, is just like the way you framed the payment. Because I think a lot of guys, like, especially me as an engineer, I'm so like analytical, logical. I don't think about the story or the emotions involved. I'm just like, okay, it's this percentage, it's like this number, and I can pay you $500. Right? Like, so I'm just like in my brain, I'm just like so analytical as far as like my numbers. But you're like, dude, how much does it take to take your wife out on a date every Friday night, right? And like just the story you frame when you're pitching the creative, like, dude, it's so genius.
It's all about them, like I said in the very beginning. You have to think what benefits they. Dan Martell, during the WealthCon said, you have to make sure whoever you're working with, you making their dreams come true. It's not about you. Once you actually realize that it's the value, true value. I'm not talking about like people, you have to bring value to others. But what is that? But for that, you have to analyze how they think and ask the right questions. And I know he's a family man. He's a father at such a young age. He's such a great husband and lover and the father, and I know it's because he's spending a lot of his time and effort and focus on making sure his family is okay, right? So and that means when I asked him a question about his family, like date night, he would be interested because he puts a lot of effort and obviously any resources, money included, into making sure that family is going.
I mean, like you kind of touched on a point by Dan Martell, right? So we went to the conference, and one of the points he made was like, whenever you work with any person, any relationship, especially people on your team, like a lot of times, like as humans, we're selfish and we just think we're the center of the universe, and we're only thinking like, what can our team do for us? What can this partnership do for me, right? But then when you switch it and you say like, how can I make Red's dream come true? How can I make my team members' dream come true? And if you align like their dreams, like their wins with like your goals, and you show them how we can like by when I win, like you win, it kind of just helps it where like we're all like driving forward in the same direction selfishly, right? Because you want your team member to be working selfishly for themselves, and then like helping the team, right? So like the whole goal is to find a way where they're building their dreams selfishly for themselves, but it's also benefiting everybody else. So.
Exactly. Can't agree more with you.
I mean, the one tricky part is trying to craft a creative way where that does happen, because so many times it's when they win, don't necessarily like we win. Like let's say like we want to make it pay like maybe like we want more money in the deal or we want something else. And so there's always like you're always at odds as far as making sure that we're both winning. But that's where the creativity comes into play, I think.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So. And I've been doing the same with cars. So one of my latest projects that I'm working on, it's up for sale now on auction. Like I'm auctioning off I'm on Car Enthusiast. I was able to raise money for that car. I literally implemented real estate strategies, but we've been taught by Ryan and his community, raising money with someone else, pay for that car, and I've been enjoying that car for a couple of weeks out in California. It's a cool.
Tell me the story.
So this car, it's a great story. That's the thing. So a person reached out to since I've been documenting everything on my social media, even with how few of followers I have, but I'm super grateful for the engagement I get, right? So this lady reached out to me saying, and I was and I met her a couple of times. She's like, hey, I'm going on the seller's appointment for this house. The owner passed away, but their kids selling the house. They don't need it. They're probably going to sell it for a lot less than it's worth, whatever, because it needed some work, outdated, whatever. But she said that there's 2 cars in their garage that's been parked there for 12 years or so.
Wow,
it's barn find. And the person was 87 years old, but that person was a very famous one. It was Gene Marlino. It's Elvis Presley's good friend. They performed together. They were singing together. An icon, legend, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I was so excited, like hell yeah. So anyway, I went with her to seller's appointment. She's a realtor, and I was blown away. This car, the other one was a Lexus 2003 with 40,000 miles on it. Also exceptionally time capsule.
Yeah.
This one, however, it's a 2-door sports car from GM, Saturn Sky Redline. So top package. Unfortunately, it wasn't manual. That would be a perfect car. But it was automatic, but it had less than 3,000 miles on it. It's 2008. So what's 18 years?
So you've been sitting in the garage this whole time then?
In the garage, with less than 3,000 miles. And there was a lot of dust collected, literally half an inch of dust. Like it wasn't touched for a long, long time. And I love that. Like it was impeccable shape though, I could tell.
Yeah.
So I picked that up. I negotiated a great deal. And then my good friend, seeing all of the cars that I've been hacking, is like, dude, whatever next deal you get, I want to invest. Like, bring the deal to me. Sure. And I texted him, hey, looks like I got a really good deal for us. I'm gonna need $3,000 to purchase it and $2,000 to revive it. Like replace all the fluids, brakes, whatever. And also, I did that. So it cost me $5,000 with detailing included, which is great. And then we got the paperwork going, and I had some time to enjoy it. So now it's live on auction. It's already at $12,000 bid. So we're all in $5,000.
Yeah.
I promised my investor 40% money on his return on his money, which is around $2,000. So anything I make above $7,000 is
yours
mine.
to keep.
Yeah, exactly.
And what do you think it's going to end up going selling for?
It's at 12 now. It's hard to tell because it's one of the it is the lowest mileage example in the nation of that car for sale right now. So it's at 12 now. Auction will be up in a couple days. So I'm hoping to get 15 or so. Which is going to be a 300% return.
No, it's bananas. The thing is, like, it's cool because like you're applying things you're learning like in one one industry, like real estate investing, right? Like the whole creative strategy, $0 down, bringing in partners to kind of like fund these deals and things. And then you're applying it to like the car hacking thing. So I just had a guest the other day talking about like buying businesses creatively. Using creative strategies that you learn in real estate. The thing is, like, when you learn in real estate, is like it applies absolutely to real estate, like any kind of real estate, but the same concepts and like muscle of being creative with like the purchase and like the ownership of things applies to cars, applies to businesses, applies to like so many of the other things that you can like take the same
whatever
principles.
you want, literally. I met a guy, well, not met him, but I met him a few wealth cons ago. I'm gonna sell a finance his watch. He got a cool collection of Rolexes. That's my next thing.
Dude, I think that's so genius, bro. Like, I would totally do that too. Like, both on the buy and the sell side.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Like, but there's a watch I want to buy. Like, dude, like, let me seller finance me that watch, and when I want to get rid of my collection, I'm like, dude, anybody want to like seller finance like or buy this one, dude? That's so genius.
Probably next time you see me, I'm gonna be rolling in my Rolex on seller finance.
Dude, seller finance me one of those later when you get it, bro.
Absolutely,
dude. That's so wild. I mean, this is genius, but it's so wild. That's so cool.
Yeah, I think I want to touch on what accelerated me to get these deals and make the connections. Right? It's if you don't have the skill of self-communication, if you don't know how to communicate with yourself, you're never going to be able to communicate with anyone else. If you don't have love for yourself, you're not going to be able to share it because you have nothing to share. So with Van Light, what I learned, exactly that: how to self-love, how to communicate with myself properly, how to detach whatever is happening in my life externally, whether it's my car broke down, or someone put me down, or I lost money on some deals, right? It is not my problem. It is the problem I have to deal with.
That's so good. Say it again. Explain that to me.
So whatever is happening with us externally, right? We lose money on deals. You probably, I know that you lost a lot of money. Ryan Pineda was sharing that last year he lost over $1 million on 40 of his flips. But if you directly attach that whatever is happening externally to your self-worth, that's when you get depressed. That's when you think life is horrible, life is not fair, and that's when you become a failure because you're not going to try it again because you have to be afraid that if you do it again, there's going to be another fail, another whatever. So when you learn to detach yourself from whatever problem and obstacle and challenge you're having, that's when you be able to love yourself truly, because whatever is happening in your life, not happening to you, it's happening for you. And more you're growing, more problems just getting bigger. They're never going to go away.
I mean, I like what you just said right there. You said when you have a problem, it's not your problem. It's a problem you're fixing or it's for
dealing
you to
with,
deal with. I love that visualization.
Well, I think God is sending us these challenges because He knows He gave us all of the power and potential to deal with these problems. All of whatever we're dealing with happening for a good reason. Because He knows that once we overcome that problem, we become a new person. Worthy, even worthier person, right? Greater person. And then He sends us another problem, which is bigger, one, right? And now we have to get bigger to overcome that problem again. And that's what greatness is.
I've totally seen that in my life. So I think like a lot of times, like as a W-2 investor, I mean as a W-2 employee, like your life is pretty like stable, right? Like you don't really honestly face a lot of big challenges all at once. It's like, hey, you may face like one challenge here and there, like once a year, and like but for the most part, it's pretty even keeled. But as an investor or entrepreneur, like every day you're facing like a new challenge. And so I think like this muscle of overcoming challenges is like being accelerated because we're facing so many challenges. And then as you overcome this challenge, then you get to another level, then you overcome the next challenge. And so like when I first started, my problems were like, I can't raise like $10,000. That's so much, right? Like where can I get 10 grand? Now I'm like, where can I like like a few years in, I was like, I can't raise like 100,000. Last week or like a couple weeks ago, we raised like $1 million in a week.
Wow.
But then like it's like the problems you're facing is like I would laugh at my 2019 Daniel who's like trying to raise $10,000. I'm like, dude, I'm like
so much bigger now.
But the ability to solve the problems that you're at, you have to rise to that level. But you become way better than the version of yourself that you were like, so let's say 2 months ago or like a year ago or 3 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not about becoming a millionaire or billionaire even, right? That's not the point. It's who you become as a millionaire. That's what it's about. Once you become the person that is worth having $1 million, then you will attract that $1 million. It's about about the journey of self-discovery.
I mean, it's crazy. That's I mean, like it's a recurring theme. I'm just seeing like talking to other investors and just like seeing myself as I self-reflect is like the journey is like a journey of like self-improvement and personal development, like even more than like the financial. But the financial is definitely like carrot that kind of pushes you to do these things.
It makes it fun.
Yeah, I mean that's true. And then the thing is like if you can enjoy it along the way or just like I mean just but it does make it a lot more fun.
But what I realized also. Success is in the process, not the outcome. That's why we have to enjoy the process. Because once we get to the pole, we get there, and usually I did it a couple times, and I asked myself, "Is that all that there is? What is this? No, I need to move this, and you keep moving. But if you're not enjoying the process of moving the pole, like as you go to that pole, if your determination is only to move the pole, you're gonna keep being miserable.
But that's the thing. Like you see like a lot of these like professional athletes. They work their entire lives trying to let's say like win the Super Bowl or win the NBA championship. Right? They're like that's the pinnacle of their life and their sport. So they dedicate like every single waking hour, moment of their hours to this ultimate goal. And then when they finally get there, they're like, is that it? Like like I want more. But the whole thing is a process. Like it's the journey is like the process. And so once you have financial goals, I'm sure that are very high. And then once you hit them, you're gonna be like, great. Now I'm gonna enjoy reaching my next goal. And it's not like a bad thing. That's the thing is like it's not like the world's not it's not an empty goal. It's like you became that person. Now like the next step is like becoming a better version of yourself.
Exactly. It's the process. That's all it is. You have to enjoy the process. Obviously if you can be a better husband, should you do it? Of course. If you can make more money, should you do it? Of course. If you can give more, should you do it? Of course. But enjoy it along the way as you do it. I think that's what separates real successful people, happy people, fulfilled people from people who are also successful in a monetary, but they're miserable.
That's so good. And so I mean, like, it seems like you have a real like wise perspective on this. And like,
I think it's van life, bro. Spending a lot of time on my own, especially after attending any educational conferences of any size, right? It is important to spend time on your own after that, because we spend so much time exchanging knowledge and energy and ideas, but then to implement it, you can't do it really
like self-reflect and spend some time with yourself.
Exactly. You have to literally soak it in, come up with a strategy plan, and implement it and execute it. And it always happens on your own. You can't come up with great ideas when you're with someone constantly. You can generate a good idea, but to actually think it through, go deep, you have to be on your own. And that's why I enjoy being on my own in my van, somewhere out in the nature. It's beautiful. I love it.
So I mean, like, walk us through a typical like van life day. Like, you wake up in the morning, like
I wake up by around 5:30 or so now.
Okay.
And the first thing I do, I get out of my van, have a sip of water, and go meet the sun.
Okay.
Sunrise.
I like that.
So there's a study has been done that if you first thing, what people mostly do, they wake up, turn their head, and there's my phone, and they check the notifications overnight. So the blue light you get from your phone is actually super, super bad for you.
Okay.
So or the second thing they do, coffee. I'm gonna have a cup of coffee because they're feeling groggy and they need some energy to wake up, and they think the answer is the coffee. There's also a study has been done. So when you wake up, there's a lot of negative hormones. I forgot what they call it. I'm not really good at in science. But in order to release cortisol, that's what it is.
Okay.
So there's the reason why you're feeling groggy in the mornings and you need coffee, you might think, is because we have a lot of leftover cortisols from the night before.
Okay.
And when you drink a coffee, it actually blocks all of these receptors that need to release the cortisol.
Okay.
And that's the reason why you're feeling groggy.
Interesting.
So first thing in the morning, you want to avoid any kind of caffeine, whether it's coffee or even a tea, within first like 45 to hour and a half.
Okay.
So first thing I do, get a natural light.
Okay.
I wake up.
The sun.
I could be in the middle of the desert or by the beach,
or
even here in Vegas. It could be by whatever building.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But sun is beautiful here all the time. So I wake up, go for like 15, 20-minute walk.
Okay.
And I center myself, right? I manifest my
moving.
day.
Okay.
I focus on my whatever 5, 10, 20-year goals, right? And I feel so alive. And
like ready to
you're actually grateful for it, right? I feel grateful every morning that I wake up. Like if someone offered me, or you, like, hey, here's $50 million, but you're not going to wake up tomorrow morning, would you take it?
And obviously, no.
Exactly. So that means we value every morning that we wake up a lot more than 50 million. Probably a million, 100 million, any kind of amount of money.
$1 billion, right? It's like there's no amount of money.
For getting first thing in the morning, the sun, getting first thing in the morning reminds me of that, how grateful I am. Then I focus on my goals, and then I get back to my van, drink more water, and then hit the gym first thing. And, then I get into my phone and answer emails or whatever. That's what I do. And if I'm not near the gym, it would be somewhere out in the nature. I'm maybe throwing some boulders. I'm using trees to do my pull-ups. Like, it's something non-negotiable for me because in my opinion, health is the foundation of everything else. Health is the most important aspect of life you can have. Then it's relationships with yourself, obviously with gym. Being consistent with working out helps tremendously to do relationship with yourself, with God, your family, friends, and then it gets to everything else.
I like the fact that you like don't pick up your phone like first thing in the morning.
No.
I feel like for myself, like a lot of times that's my natural tendency, but I think like, and I know I've read other studies about this where like it's like this negative like dopamine cycle that you kind of jump into where like it just like negatively affects your brain versus like natural like light or like nature or things where like it helps to bring kind of center you and bring more peace. And then when you jump into your day, it's just you have like a different kind of energy you're focused in. Like you already started that downward spiral by like just kind of like looking into like your phone or your computer.
Yeah, exactly. And also when you get into most people immediately jump into social media, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're immediately seeing, for the most part, fake life of other people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
they now their self-worth goes down first thing in the
Yeah,
morning.
yeah,
How do you
yeah.
think they're they gonna go now?
That's true. I never thought about that too, but that's like
Yeah.
a negative thing as well too.
Exactly.
So.
So I avoid the phone, hit the gym first thing in the morning after my, normal routine waking up. I usually bike.
Okay. Do
And
you have
read a
a
book.
bike in your van?
I used to my very first 6 months when I moved into it.
Okay.
Then I sold my bike and I got myself electric longboard, which has
Okay.
been a lot more fun. So yes, that's
So, but so when you're in your van, like you wake up in the morning, like, do you take a crap? Do you pee? Like how what would that part? Do you brush your teeth? Like,
I
how
do
does
have
that work? So-
I do have a toilet in my van, but I avoid using it because
Okay.
it's very small. It's a pretty small van.
It's like a
to
porta
start
potty
off.
kind of thing?
Yeah,
So,
it's
okay.
inside of my wardrobe.
Okay,
So and
okay.
I'm pretty big guy. I'm 6'3". I can't really use it. So if it's out in the nature, I mean, I'm doing it the
Okay.
old way, like
Okay.
our
And like you grab
grandparents
a
used to
shovel and just,
do.
like,
Exactly. I have my
successful.
little shovel to
And
hide
you
it.
just bring like toilet paper or something?
Yes. I have a compostable, like
What is that?
meaning like it was
Compostable toilet
prepared.
paper.
Yes, so
Okay,
you can
okay.
bury it.
Okay.
Yeah, which is
okay.
cool. I do it the old way, and I grew up doing that. Like I'm
Okay,
from Middle
okay.
Asia originally. We
Okay.
didn't have the luxury of having the toilet
okay.
inside the building.
So like you're used to it.
I'm
and
used
stuff,
to it. Yeah,
And
it's
like
no problem.
Like brushing your teeth, shower. How does that work?
Yeah,
for you?
I have an outside shower,
Okay.
which is pretty cool. And I only take cold showers.
That's
really
dude,
good for me.
that's
Always.
that's terrible. I like,
But I love it.
dude, like that.
It gives you so much mental clarity,
Dude,
bro.
it's like torture in the morning. Because there's a lot of people like, dude, you need to take a cold shower in the morning. Like, I tried it for like a week. I'm like, this is not my life, man. Like, it's like
I get it,
just
but I
torturing myself
truly
first
enjoy
thing in the day.
I truly enjoy cold water. There's nothing. That's the coffee replacement. bro.
It's like the worst thing in the world for me, bro.
Yeah, but it's scientifically proven to
Yeah.
give you. And also, I don't want to gross out anyone. I don't use shampoo. Like
Okay,
I have pretty
okay.
long hair.
Yeah.
Cold shower. Because the reason why your body produces so much oil and people need to use
Yeah,
oil,
yeah.
all sorts of products on their
okay,
hair,
okay.
face, whatever,
Okay.
is because it's the protective reaction of your skin.
Okay.
It's producing excessive amount of oil.
Okay,
It's
okay,
not okay.
okay.
So moving to cold shower, I noticed I'm not producing that much oil.
So it actually
I stopped
affects,
using
like, your oil
it's
production.
tremendously important. Yes, and I stopped using shampoo. Also, another thing I stopped using is toothpaste. I don't use no toothpaste.
No.
Yes.
So what do you?
I stopped using with shampoo. It's been a while, but I stopped using my toothpaste, any kind of toothpaste in January of 2024.
Okay.
And it's been a few months
What do
now.
you replace it with?
Nothing.
What?
So I replaced also coming to speaking of tooth situation. I got rid of my normal toothbrushes. Because you when you go to store, you buy a toothbrush.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
most likely going to be plastic brush.
Yeah.
So on Amazon, my friend got me this bamboo toothbrush with the bamboo brush on it.
Okay.
And that's what I've been using.
So you just brush with water.
Just water, my saliva. Saliva is really good for it. And what I noticed, I don't know if when you wake up, you have this unpleasant taste in your mouth, don't you?
Yeah.
It's because you killed all of your biome and flora in your mouth, which is not okay. You're supposed to have a good amount of biome, which is healthy for you.
Yeah.
So the moment I stopped using toothpaste, I started noticing in the morning, I don't have that weird, almost awful taste in my mouth.
Interesting.
It smells really good. And then I've been going on dates now, so I'm getting
So
back.
it's working. So
it's
like,
no one complains so far.
That's so interesting. I mean, I wonder if they're not complaining because like they're being polite or like.
No,
actually
I don't
smells
think
good.
so. I mean, you're welcome to smell right here.
I'm scared now. I'm like, you scared
I mean, you
me.
would probably
Yeah.
smell if I.
I mean, like, it's not bad. I'll tell you that. So like, but I don't know if it smells.
no,
fresh
it
or anything,
smells
so.
like nothing. Now.
Okay.
And to be honest, sensitivity, whether it's from something eating like ice cream or something hot, I used to feel a little bit of sensitivity. It's gone.
Wow, that's interesting.
And I never use fluoride toothpaste, which is awful for you in the first place. And then I thought, I'm doing great. But then I completely canceled using any kind of toothpaste, and it's even better. I still floss, but I'm using bamboo
So
toothbrush, and it's been great. And once a week, I do oil pulling with coconut oil.
Okay.
That's been great. So yeah, simple. Now I can literally travel with just a bamboo toothbrush anywhere I go. Because my next thing is to get rid of the body wash.
Oh my gosh, dude. This is insane. All right, kids. No toothpaste, no body wash, and no shampoo. That's the way you live your life.
Yeah, and no one complained that I stink. We were just around
I mean, I
over
don't
1,000 people.
Yeah, yeah. So
Cold shower also
like a
proven
big thing
to
of
make
that.
you
Yeah.
less sweaty.
yeah, I mean,
So when I
can
work
see
out,
that.
when I work out, I don't really sweat that much, even though I.
You know, when I was one of the things I think as like living in a first world country, like in this century, I always wonder like how did people survive? Like let's say in the 1500s, the 1400s, with no toothpaste and no shampoo, and no body wash. But maybe this is why like they just took cold showers in the streams and like.
And they're pretty healthy, to be honest.
Smell or I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, my grandpa, he passed away at 87, at 84, and my grandma at 87. When they were growing up, they didn't even. They were living in boxes almost. Like they had no luxury of anything.
Yeah. So interesting.
You can do it. I think the reason why we're using so many variations of so many different products, and we have so much now in the market, because the corporation programmed us to think all they want to do is just make money on you. And on top of that, unfortunately, whatever you use for the most part and whatever you eat makes you sick. Because keeping you sick generates a lot of income for them, because medical industry, pharmaceutical industry, they all work together to make money off of you. So keeping you sick, producing a lot of income for them. So I don't want to contribute to that.
It's a business plan for us.
Yeah. But health wise, 10 out of 10 right now. Like I don't want to, thank you very much. But health wise, because I've done all these things. I've been blessed. Yeah.
I mean, you look good. Like I don't know if you smell good. I'm scared now, but you look good. And you seem vibrant. So I mean, there's something working for you.
Yeah. And I learned all of that through van life as well. It just makes it super simple when I don't have to depend on comforts of having shower.
It's very
day.
interesting because it's kind of cool that you like whenever like there's a constraint in your life, you always find a creative way to solve problems. And like it sounds like in this constraint is like living in a van kind of puts these like external constraints on parties of like finding like let's say like toothbrush and toothpaste in the morning, shower, like a hot showers, or like let's say even toilets or things. But then you creatively solve them, and then a lot of times when you're solving these problems, you discover new things, or like it's actually way better than if you didn't have that constraint originally.
Exactly, and if we went through some kind of apocalypse or whatever, I'm prepared. I don't need that much to survive.
But and so like another example is I think like we have a podcast and then like we carry like normally we have like a guy who sets everything up for us, right? So like he runs the show, he controls all like the monitors and all like the things, and every so often he has to like restart cameras and stuff. But now that we're taking down the road and our community guy couldn't come this time, now we're forced to kind of like do it ourselves. And so as the constraint of not having the media guy there, we're seeing all these like little small holes of like how to make things better. And so actually this actually making our setup and our system and our like all our hardware better, because we have that constraint of not having that extra body to kind of like make sure things are running correctly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And like the same thing applies like in financially, like, so like I think a lot of problems in my business is like, okay, I can solve it two ways. I can just throw more money at it. I can just like hire somebody else, or pay more money for the house or whatever it is. Or if you don't have money or you don't want to put money at it, you put that constraint in place. Now you have to think, okay, creatively, how can I fix or solve this problem without money? And a lot of times, like the ways that you fix the problems with no money is actually make things way more efficient and way more profitable, because you're forced to innovate and create new ideas and new strategies because you're constrained by not having that money involved.
That is so good, bro. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even look at your story. I mean, like you're buying cars with no money, buying houses with zero money. If you had money, you might be like, I'm just gonna spend money and buy it, right? We're like, I don't have money, so I need to buy all these. I buy rentals or my cars, and you're using their creative brain to like solve these problems where if you had the money to begin with, like you would just see the world a little different.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just the situation I put myself in forces me to think creatively. And even when I moved to the US, it was the same thing. I've been on my own since I was 16. I moved out of my parents' house and even my country. And I've been on the road basically since then. And I moved to the US when I was 23, and I only had $50 in my pocket, and that's it. So that helped me to learn the language pretty fast.
So English is not even your first language?
No, it's my third.
I didn't even know that, bro. I thought, dude, like, you know what's really sad is like, my only language is English. Like, I don't know any other language, but I have like a weird, like, kind of like Hawaii accent, and I stumble and I kind of fumble my words. So then, like, we went like on this trip, and then like it was like a mission trip, and these guys like, hey, bro, so what's your first language? And I'm like, bro,
oh my god,
my first, all I know is English, and I'm terrible at it. I'm sorry. Like,
no, you're not terrible. I thought you were Hawaiian when I started talking to you, because I met Zasha, and then I saw a lot of. You guys spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, like I realized,
you got the Hawaiian accent. You got the same accent as Zasha.
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, like, I thought English was your first language, and so.
No. Well, thank you. I'll take it as a compliment. But I put myself in the box again. So my first place that I moved to was a little town in North Idaho, a little less than 900 people.
Okay.
A bunch of rednecks, people never seen. People from abroad, like literally people were taking pictures with locals. So I was working at this restaurant as a cook prep for $7.25.
Okay.
That's where I started.
Yeah.
And the reason I started there because I didn't know English. But then my plan was to work my way to become a server, so I can actually communicate with Americans, and I did, and that's what propelled me learning English quicker. And then obviously after that I moved out of Idaho in 4 months after I had a basic English at least to communicate, and then I started making friends, going places, only communicating and talking to English-speaking people. And it's been great. Once I put myself outside of my comfort zone, then I had no choice but to learn the language if I wanted to get somewhere, right? Or even go to grocery and, I learned the speaking part of English faster than reading or texting.
Because you have to practice it every day,
exactly.
Right?
So that was cool.
This is a crazy story. So like, you're on a trajectory right now where like I have no doubt you're gonna be like very successful financially. And so when you do hit your 10, 50, $100 million like net worth, it's gonna be like a crazy story because you came to America with $50 in your pocket and not knowing English, and then like you're gonna like, dude, you're gonna be like sharing your story.
That, I'm humbled where I'm at right now. I'm humbled that even you inviting me to podcast, like this is such an honor. And being in the community and getting all the help that I need, and all these ultra successful, way beyond ahead of me people spending time and actually explaining. And what I learned, and that would be probably good to hear for your audience. If you're willing to work hard and implement the things that people like yourself telling me to do, and you see as a successful person that person is willing to work on what you told them to do, or her, right? And then you're gonna get more blessing from these people. Like that's all.
Dude, like people don't understand this concept. It's like it's crazy because like when you're being on social media, right? We get guys like, hey, how can I get started investing, right? So they reach out to me, hey, can we grab coffee? Can I get started investing? Yeah, sure. So we grab coffee and like, dude, read this book, like Rich Dad Poor Dad. All you gotta do is read this book to start. And then like 99% of people, like I never hear from them again. Like just take the first step, like, and so there's been one guy, like, I mean, actually now we work together, we're partners. And then so Josh, like when we did the exact same thing.
I love Josh.
I was like, dude, read this book. Okay, he read the book. Okay, what's next? Then he read the next book. And so like he's like, all you gotta do is just
took him under your belt.
When we first started, like,
that's how it started.
But he was hungry and he followed through. And then so whenever people are like, they're like, I want to learn, like, here, take this step. If they take the step and like they do it and they're hungry and come back for more, I love like working like anybody like that. Like they're gonna like go places. But
so I'm always curious why. Like people obviously all of us want the love. All of us want to have nice houses. All of us want to have nicer cars. All of us want to go travel. But why people don't do it? Like especially in a country like the US, you literally have everything you need.
It's just I think like, I mean, this is me because analyzing like right now on top of my head, I feel like it's just not important. And so like when you look at like things like everybody wants six-pack abs and like everybody wants to be like fit and like work and like be like ripped.
Yeah.
But then the price to pay for it is not worth it.
That's
and so as
true.
opposed to saying like I want six pack abs, just so like it's not a priority.
Yeah.
And so like everybody wants to have a nice car, everybody wants to be financially free, everybody wants to build generational wealth, but it's just not a priority.
Yeah.
It's like in your life, and so like it's just not that important. And so like we want these things, but it's not important enough to us to like read a book or like take a step to like towards that general direction.
And I think it has to do with the standard. This is so good. But I want to add that the reason why people don't do it, from my experience, is the standard. Like I got my 6 abs, and I had it since I was 9, which is pretty easy to get 6 abs when you're a kid.
You're a kid,
yeah. But it's not about getting 6 abs, or not even about making $1 million. There's so many people, even like big names, made all of the money, but then they ended up being like broke. They went bankrupt. Like Mike Tyson made over $500 million at the peak of his career. He went bankrupt twice. He lost all of his money. I think it's standard has to do with it. When people say, "Oh, I want a 6 ab," or "I want to go to gym consistently," or "I want to read a book a month," "I want to make whatever amount of money," the way they approach it, again, it goes back to self-communication. I go to gym not because I want to go to gym. I go to gym because I'm an athlete. It's part of my identity. It's the standard I set for myself. I don't read a book because I want to read a book. I'm a reader, and that's why I read a book. I'm an athlete, and that's why I go to gym. I'm a wealthy person, monetary as well, and that's why I make money. When you approach it from that standpoint, that's when life changes.
That's so interesting, because it's not like I'm chasing the 6-pack abs. It's just like I'm just a fit person.
It's part of me. That's why I go and get it. Not because I want to. When you say, "Oh, I want to, I should this, I should this, I should do," so? But it's not part of your identity. You're not gonna get it because it's not you.
I mean,
you have to be that
that's
person.
another reason why it's so important to get in these rooms and just hang out with other people, because when you're like when you hang with other people, it changes your identity. Like it's like so that's I was kind of trying to pinpoint like why is it so like helpful for it's stupid. I pay like $10,000 to just have dinner with like
you gotta dive.
Tim
Crazy.
Grover,
I want to get to that level.
But the thing is, like, I'm like, why am I paying this money just to have dinner and just be in a room with these guys? But like, I was trying to figure out what it is, but there's something like this changing about myself by just having conversations, eating food together, and just being in this circle. But I think it's changing my identity. So like, it just when I'm in this room with these guys, I'm like, I'm one of these guys, and so like it's. My personal identity is like this is like over here, even though like financially I'm here, I'm self-identifying with these guys over here.
So you raise your standard.
It's just unnatural for my finances or my business acumen to get up here, because this is who I am just by being in that room with these guys. So it's so interesting.
Bingo. That's it. That's what it is. You just raise your standard, and that's why you go into these rooms. Because I mean, it's crazy paying $10,000
just
for
to have
just
dinner,
an hour.
Yeah, just to spend time with just to have like a meal and just a conversation. I mean, like,
did you have to pay for a meal?
Oh no! So
okay.
meal was
At least it was.
It was a really good meal too. I'll say that. So But I mean, it's just like, why am I doing this for? Like but like because I'm like. I know something's happening to me, but I can't put a finger. I couldn't articulate it. But then I think the way that you just presented or kind of explained the idea of like I'm not trying to get 6-pack abs. I'm an athlete, and I just get 6-pack abs.
An athlete has the six pack, or has the endurance, the bicep, whatever. That's why you're doing it. And so, you're a smart person. What smart people do? Read the book, attend conferences, learn, hire a mentor. That's all. You just have to tell yourself, I'm a smart person. I'm an athlete. That's what it is.
And then like after you have like that identity, like your actions and your habits are naturally gonna like fail to that standard because that's just who you are, right?
Exactly. That's the shift that everyone needs to work on.
That's so good, Rod. I'm like processing things in my brain as we're talking to this.
Well, again, it's spending time on my own in reinvesting into myself. Right, I spent over $70,000
in education.
Wow. But in the last
that's crazy,
17
bro.
months, $70,000 I didn't have, but I did a hack. I applied for a lot of 0% credit cards. And I got, I think, $120,000 limit. So I had all this money. What do I do? I'm like, okay, I didn't know what to do. Because I didn't invest into myself. So I joined Ryan's community. So I paid some money there. And then all these conferences that we've been attending, there's a couple other masterminds I joined. And then, this is not cheap, right? But ultimately, this is the biggest ROI you can get. You can. I could have invested 120 maybe in a flip and lose it all, or maybe put into, I don't know, S&P 500 for 1 year. I would get maybe 10% back. But that's
the thing though. Is like it's when if you were to talk to me when I was in my W-2, I think you're an idiot. Like 70 grand, I could put that in the stock market. Like, it's like it makes absolutely no sense to pay for coaching, to pay for to invest in yourself. But that was my whole world as a W-2 employee because I didn't see like the opportunities that an entrepreneur and investor can have by creating something like by investing in themselves. But now that I'm surrounded by guys who are just from 0 to like 10 million to 100 million, like with just like their self investment, I see like, wow, the ROI is actually there. And so, but like, so it's crazy. Like, it's really good that you see that now. But I mean, like,
of course.
But then it's like now. I feel like there's like there's like blindness in the world. Like my eyes are like clearly open. Like, I mean, obviously there's levels to this thing, right? But like right now, I'm like just like the whole thing about education now. I'm super anti-paying for education. Now I'm like, bro, like, where can I buy so I can like speed up my process more and more now?
It's about staying humble and staying hungry. A year ago when I first came to the WealthCon, I was. For what I remember that I raised $61,000 with my, I don't know how, I don't know why I wouldn't give money to myself a year ago, but that guy believed in me, and we were on the phone a month ago or so. We were laughing, like it worked out overall. We built a great friendship now. Every time I'm in Vegas, I try to stop by his place or we meet somewhere and whatever. It's great. But I can't believe that I was so confident, and I was such a dummy and idiot, but I felt so good about myself. But then it was such a humbling moment because like I said, I went all in. I bought the MVP ticket, right?
Okay. And how much was that guy?
MVP?
Yeah,
that was $5,000.
I mean like. This is like not like pay money over here.
No, and I was borrowing that's all my credit cards.
A year. That could be like a month's paycheck right there. So
exactly. But what I realized, it was life changing. I got into MVP, but no idea what's gonna happen. It's just I wanted to feel good about it. Look at me, I'm getting the most expensive ticket. They didn't offer a diamond at the time. But and I did it, and I was so humbled because people, the questions they're asking, I literally in front of me this conversation happening. Hey, dude, you're a CPA. You work with real estate investment. I made $5 million in income this year. But I want to pay less money. What should I do? And his CPA told him that how much you need to save on your personal income this year. Around, I like to save like 300,000 or so. And that CPA told him, go buy a Lamborghini Urus for 350. That's gonna solve your problem and write it off. God, like, wow, that
you just listen to these guys and just having a casual conversation with each other.
Right? And then I was humble and I'm like, wow, what an idiot I am. And now I know a lot more, and I look back at myself again, dude, you were such a dumb person. And now I know more, but I feel even more stupid.
Because you see
I know there's so
how much more there is to grow.
And it was the most humbling moment I had. Like, it's a cool story to tell it, in my future. But now, wiser and smarter I'm getting, more humbling I'm getting as well, which is cool.
That's the perfect place to be, is like, as you're growing, like there's like, it's very easy to get like a big head, like, look at me, I'm doing be successful, but like, it's like if you can stay humble and like realize you have so much more to grow, I think number one, you'll be happier, because just humble, grateful people are just happier, I think, in general. But then also like it'll help you to like to grow faster, because now like you don't think you know it all. So like you'll take advice, you listen to other people, and then like the journey will be a lot more enjoyable. And people will enjoy being around you versus like you're the cocky dude who thinks he knows it all, right? So
you're the perfect example of being a humble person. I mean, this dude rolls in his Lamborghini.
I mean,
you would.
I mean, even that to me, like when I bought it, I was like, this is so like not my brand, but it was such a good deal. I couldn't turn it off.
But it's not. I mean, you earned it, bro.
I appreciate it.
You deserve it.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
and I want you to film with your Lamborghini because I'm into cars and I can't wait to buy my first Lambo, right?
Yeah.
Like, but you don't even post. Like, people don't even know.
Yeah,
you're like almost embarrassed that you have.
It's funny. Most people think I'm renting that thing, so they're like, "Hey, nice rental, bro." I don't even say nothing because like it's not.
Because you don't look like that's the true wealthy person. When you don't, you can't even tell by the clothes they're wearing, right?
So I look poor. I got.
Yeah, but you got Lambo, bro. Come on.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And
that's the ultimate flex. Yeah, the way you look, but what you have.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. And in general, I understand it's not part of your identity.
But I mean, the thing is, like, it's like the whole thing going back to enjoying the journey is. I think life is so much more about than just finances. And so like when I was like just W-2 and earner and like broke, I was very happy. Like, you know, like I had like great relationships. I was a part of a great church. Everything, I was in good health. Like everything about my life is like great. So like even like at that time when I was like trying to like I wanted to reach financial freedom, it wasn't like because like my life was like bad. It was just like, I mean, financially I wasn't doing great, but like I was still like very happy and very grateful. Like, you know, so like now that I have something, nothing has really changed. I'm still very grateful. If I lost everything, like I think now with my skills that I could get it back faster, but I would still be very grateful. Like, you know, like, and it's just like that's incredible. Just to be on earth. Like even if like I got sick and like things happen, like I still be very grateful just for like the things that I've had, you know, just the perspective on life that I had. I think a lot of that has to do with just like a relation with God. But at the same time, I feel so like grateful and humble just to like be like breathing on this earth. So, yeah.
Well, that says a lot about your ability to communicate with yourself. You know, you were W-2 making enough money to get by, right? But then you started making a lot more with your real estate investment, your portfolio that you built, but you didn't change because your self-worth wasn't determined when you were W-2 by lack of money or having just enough, or now you're making more. Like your self-worth, you were there and you're still there self-worth. Like that's incredible. That's what we are lacking. And that goes back to detaching from problems, external problems that we have. If you fix yourself in your inner world, everything else that's happening outside will not impact you that much.
So true. That's so true.
Yeah. The perfect example of that, in my opinion, is Robin Williams, you know, the actor from Jumanji. So that guy, a lot of people he was very loved by everyone. There's only few actors in Hollywood that have no haters. He was one of them. He was very loved by everyone in the industry. He had a lot of huge fan base. Obviously, he had a loving family with kids. Obviously, he was wealthy. He was always in demand. He would constantly be invited to shows, whatever. But he killed himself. He took his own life. Is that a success? No, he's dead.
It's so
he's
crazy.
A failure, in my opinion. And what do you think was the reason? Like, he had all of the love, all of the money, all of the success, recognition. He was popular. He was, when, you know, it was just a few years ago. It wasn't like that long.
I mean, he was
growing up. Watching Jumanji. He's
the genie of Aladdin.
Exactly.
But
he took his own life, and I lost my respect. I think the reason was because he didn't know how to communicate with himself. So kudos on you for being able to communicate no matter what's happening.
We're trying. I mean, like it's a journey and it's a process, right? Like we're both not perfect, but just the journey is the thing, right? And
of course, that's the journey. Yeah.
And perspective. I love like your perspective and just how you're building, how you're growing this thing.
Yeah,
so.
I appreciate you, bro. Yeah.
But so if people like, let's say like they see like your journey and then they're like, hey, like I am like brand new to real estate. Like this is like you like talking to yourself basically like a year ago. A new person who's like trying to get into the game or they want to like kind of change their lives or their family's future. What piece of advice would you give to that person?
I love people watching. So any real estate meetups I go to, you immediately see who are new and who are more seasoned.
How can you tell that?
I mean, by the way they present themselves, the way they talk, how I mean, I'm pretty good at body language. You can immediately tell. if you know a little bit of human psychology.
Okay.
And when you're actually talking to them,
Yeah.
you can tell. They will actually tell you, "Yeah, I'm trying to get my first deal. I'm trying to do whatever."
Yeah.
But for everyone that is brand new, I would say pick one strategy in real estate. There's so many of them, right? And just stick to it for at least 3 years, I'd say.
Okay.
Also, when you do attend these free real estate meetups, there's a lot of great ones. I know you hold amazing one in Hawaii. Make a goal of not connecting with 20, 30 people, and you're not going to be able to truly connect with those people because it's impossible to connect within 2-3 hours, right? Make a goal to connect with one person, but go deep into relationship. I was fortunate enough to raise over $250,000 in my first year for deals. And it was all because I was in touch with just 2 people. That's it. Like,
that's really that's
so
impressive.
I decided to go all in. Don't be afraid to exploit your personality, because if that investor that you're trying to partner with or raise money with, they don't like you as a person, they're not going to do a deal with you.
Yeah, that's true.
So work on yourself, become a better person, and then go into partnerships, because it's like looking for a wife for a business.
it really is. It really is.
People throw JV agreements left and right, like, let's start an LLC together. Let's do this. And then they get into problems.
Marriage, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's a disaster. And unfortunately, there's no friendships anymore can be built. So I would suggest focusing on one real estate strategy depending on their situation. There's only 3 resources we have: money, expertise, and time. You have to know what resources you can provide. When I started, it was my time. I had no expertise. I had no money. But I had time to learn the skill. And then I found a person who had no time, because you want to bring something that person doesn't have, right? But he had money. So I brought my time to learn the skill. Now I have 2
time and expertise,
right? And I went all in. I went deep. And now I'm having some money, not to that point yet, but I'm still working on my skill because it's only my 2nd year, and I'm not doing anything else but creative acquisitions on real estate. With cars, I have more experience. I'm just implementing what I'm learning in real estate into cars now. It's just my passion. But I'm not doing anything else. I'm not investing in multifamilies. I'm not doing Airbnbs. I'm not doing MTRs. I'm focusing on building my portfolio creatively.
Got it.
Yeah. So focus on one thing and meet one person at your next real estate meetup you go to. Great
advice, man. So people want to reach out to you or find more about you, where can they do so?
I help people to get their first deal, by the way. I'm very active on Instagram. I'm building my social media. That's my main focus right now. I'm doing some deals off of my social media, and I'm revamping my YouTube channel. So on all social media platforms, red as the color. Red as the color.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate your time, man. It's been a joy talking. Thank you so much for the show.
Such an honor being here. It was fun. Thank you.